Hello, hello, hello. I promised you I was going to do 2 videos tonight. It's my last night, my tree is up. I just wanted to share the beauty with you. We started reading Awareness by Anthony De Mello, The Perils and Opportunities of Reality. And I hope that you're on this journey with me. All the things I love to share with you on the channel. And this year, I just felt like reading together again. So I've read this book before in 2025 when my dear friend Rena gave it to me. And I'm sure there's a few videos out there where I've read some excerpts, but never from start to finish with us. So I did a lengthy video, the second one of 2026, and it was like 51 minutes long, where I started reading the book, but it was sandwiched in with a whole lot of other things. A practice on relax. I think the video was called Relax. So and then I continued on reading. I think that second video is called Hello, Nicole, continuing on with awareness. And then I went ahead and reread just that beginning part I shared on the long video in a really short video. So it may be confusing, maybe not. I think you're smart enough to figure it out. Jump around, piece it all together. But tonight, we're going to pick up where we left off in the book itself. If you have purchased it, or you have it, or you haven't, again, Anthony De Mello, Awareness. And I am on page. So we read through On Waking Up, and I think I stopped at Will I Be of Help to You? And he says in this retreat, I don't know if this is part of the foreword or it had something to do with the book or the publishing of Anthony's teachings. I'm not sure exactly. And the truth is, I wanted to skip this part. No, it is numbered, page numbered. It's page 6, 7, and 8, and a little bit of 9. I wanted to skip it, so that usually tells me I shouldn't. I wanted to jump ahead to On the Proper Kind of Selfishness. Interesting, huh? So I'll either get to that tonight or we'll leave that for tomorrow. So, bottom of page 6, if you're reading long. Will I be of help to you in this retreat is the question on the title of this page. But I think I ask myself that every day, every time I make a video, every time I get with a client, every time I wonder why I'm still making videos or doing anything in life. Am I here to help anybody? Am I going to help anybody? Am I even here to help anybody? If you've been reading long, then you pretty much heard Anthony's opinion that most people don't really want to wake up. It's unpleasant. And they don't want to be helped. They want to stay asleep. It's more comfortable. It might be their own kind of suffering, their own kind of nightmare, but it's what most people choose, according to our author. You may agree. I may agree. I don't know. Think about that some more. Hopefully that number, I hope we're starting to tip the scale and there's more of us who want to wake up than there are that want to stay asleep. We already know the benefit of that. Even that the painful cure, as he talked about in here, is worth it. So, will I be of help to you in this retreat? Do you think I'm going to help anybody? No. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Don't expect me to be of help to anyone. Nor do I expect to damage anyone. If you are damaged, you did it. That sounds pretty harsh, doesn't it? As a mental health therapist, I don't think I would go into any session ever, even clients I've worked with. Well, if I've worked with them for a long time and they're starting to take responsibility for their life, their healing, their growth, we might absolutely have this conversation. But for those who are still unconscious or asleep in their suffering, I don't think that would go over too well, would it? But I guess that's the point. Do you want to wake up or don't you? If you want to wake up, you may need to realize if you are damaged, again, it's like one more caveat. Did my parents have anything to do with my wounding when I was a childhood? Did society? Did the church even? Did my school, my teachers, my brothers? Poor brothers, don't blame anything on them. Did my environment? Did my heredity? Did my genes? My mother's illness? Did I pick up depression from her? I would have said yes. I mean, now I'm taking full responsibility even for lovingly reparenting myself and unconditionally giving myself that love that no one ever really could. So if I continue to suffer, I would say that's absolutely, I did it. I don't know that I would have said that for the first majority of my life. And if you are helped, you did it. It's a little easier to say, isn't it? It's okay if this is controversial. You know my rule if I have any rules on my channel. Take what you like and leave the rest. You do not have to agree with a thing I say. Even if it just stirs you up to think. I'm cool with that. And I hope you hang in there with me anyway. Just for some pretty backdrops. To see my smile every day, to hear that you're loved, because I love you, I love you, I love you. All right, Laura, come on. We haven't even gotten through the first paragraph. You'll find I'm a rambler. I was listening back to a video I made yesterday, and what you've been hearing in the last several videos is my pneumonic cough. I've been recovering from pneumonia, and I was talking in there about being a healer and a sound healer. Well, I just sounded so sick, and I thought, oh my gosh, if you're just joining me on this channel, you may wonder, who is this lady? Can she help me? Maybe. Maybe the perfect title to this chapter. I find it interesting that as I'm recovering, I'm actually doing really well. When I laugh, I cough again. If I get really emotional, if I cry, went to a movie. Anyway, I couldn't even watch the sad parts because it just made me start coughing. I'm gonna start this paragraph over and see if I can just read one complete paragraph without interrupting myself or your train of thought. Pause. One video I've already done this year is relax. We're always going to do that together too. You know, I get amped up. I love to connect with y'all. I love to share. I love to read. And I can get frenetic in my energy, and that's okay. And if we relax together before we say or do the next thing, how might it be different? How might it feel different? Relax. Oh, my sweet kitty, my 18-year-old kitty is playing with a toy. Oh, baby girl. Sorry, I had to pause for a minute. She wasn't actually playing like it sounded. She was choking on some food or sneezing. Cats don't sneeze very much, but it was distracting me. Do you think I'm going to help anybody? Do you think I'm going to help you? I want to say yes. Anthony De Mello says no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Don't expect me to be of help to anyone, nor do I expect to damage anyone. If you are damaged, you did it. And if you are helped, you did it. You really did. I do want you to hear this. You really did. Even if you choose to go to a mental health therapist who seems to bring you some comfort, understanding, validation, help, it's still because you chose it or because you did the work or because you choose to let the healing begin, let the healing happen. You did it. You're doing it. You're making the choice. Said I wasn't going to interrupt myself. You think people help you? They don't. You think people support you? Oh, this is a hard one. They don't. It's like I want you to just read the page. So you don't necessarily think it's just coming from me. They don't. You think people support you? They don't. Truth is, I've felt like most of my life, I've believed people don't support me, which is a really sad thought. It's brought me a lot of pain. I felt very alone, like I had to do it all on my own. Some of the people that were supposed to love me the most did the opposite, help me. They made me sick. They made me worse. This isn't fair. I don't know if my mom will ever listen to this, but even I got this cold that turned into pneumonia from my mother on Christmas Day. I felt like she should have said, Laura, stay home. I know you love me. You don't want me to be alone. But she's never alone. She lives in a 6-story building full of hundreds of people. She's got lots of friends, caregivers. There was a woman in a therapy group I was conducting once. She was a religious sister. She said to me, I don't feel supported by my superior. So I said, what do you mean by that? And she said, well, my superior, the provincial superior, never shows up at the novitiate. I think that's how you say it, where I am in charge. Never. She never says a word of appreciation. And I said to her, well, all right, let's do a little role playing. Pretend I know your superior. You know, Mary. Okay, hold on. Pretend I know your superior. In fact, pretend I know exactly what she thinks about you. So I say to you, acting the part of your superior, you know, Mary, the reason I don't come to that place you're in is because it is the one place in the province that is trouble-free. No problems. I know you're in charge, so all is well. How do you feel now? She said, I feel great. Then I said to her, all right, would you mind leaving the room for a minute or two? This is part of the exercise. So she did. And while she was away, I said to the others in the therapy group, I am still the provincial supervisor, okay? Mary out there is the worst novice director I have ever had in the whole history of the province. In fact, the reason I don't go to the novitiate is because I can't bear to see what she is up to. It's simply awful, but I've told her the truth. It's only going to make those novices suffer all the more. We are getting somebody to take her place in a year or two. We are training someone. In the meantime, I thought I would say those nice things to her to keep her going. What do you think of that? They answered, well, it was really the only thing you could do under the circumstances. Then I brought Mary back into the group and asked her if she still felt great. Oh, yes, she said. Poor Mary. She thought she was being supported when she wasn't. The point is that most of what we feel and think, we conjure up for ourselves in our heads, including this business of being helped by people. Y'all, this is master stuff, okay? It's okay if you don't get it. And I'm not saying you're ignorant if you don't get it. It's just, in the idea of awareness and awakening, I mean, my gosh, I've been a therapist, it feels like, for a gazillion years, at least 30. And I've been in therapy. I don't think you can take anyone when you haven't gone yourself. And even I still struggle with this. I get it. And it is true for me now. It's the only thing that's really saved me. If there was any saving to be had. It's made life what I always wanted it to be. Easier, serene, much more often than it ever was before, was ever going to be if I didn't become my own loving, parental, internal presence, loving every part of me, from inner child to gremlin to... Do you think you help people because you are in love with them? And I want to say, yeah. God, if I'm not here to love, what am I here for? But let's keep reading. Well, I've got news for you. You are never in love with anyone. Okay, Anthony, tell me more. Why is that? You're never in love with anyone. You're only in love with your prejudiced and hopeful idea of that person. Ding, 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 ding. Oh my gosh. This may be a little too... I feel like I need to ask his permission. But if you've been following me, if you're in my life, you almost need to sign a waiver. Anything you say can and will be used probably in my videos, my songs, my teachings of others, my therapy sessions. Let me just say it as gently as possible. Even after 15 years of being loved by a wonderful person, it did not feel real until the last year. Honestly, the last few months when we recoupled. Until I loved myself in the way I was looking to be loved. Maybe what he's about to tell us. Keep interrupting him. Take a minute to think about that. You're never in love with anyone. You're in love with your prejudiced idea of that person. Isn't that how you fall out of love? Your idea changes, doesn't it? How could you let me down when I trusted you so much? You say to someone. Did you really trust them? And no, I didn't. I want to say I had every reason to, but life up to that point had prepared me to say I had every reason not to, if I'm honest. You never trusted anyone. Come off it. That's part of society's brainwashing. You never trust anyone. You only trust your judgment about that person. So what are you complaining about? The fact is that you don't like to say, my judgment was lousy. That's not very flattering to you, is it? So you prefer to say, how could you have let me down? How could you have let me down? I'm going to pause for a minute and let you sink into that. Just see if somebody comes to mind right now. And see if this is really uncomfortable and stirring you and you want to fight against it and argue with it. Just like I didn't want to read it to you. I'm just saying there might be something there. When you hear those words rattle in your brain, how could you have let me down? See who comes to mind. Do you still think you love them unconditionally? Do you think you trust them? Do you think you see them clearly or just your prejudiced judgments of them? Heaven help us. So there it is. People don't really want to grow up. People don't really want to change. People don't really want to be happy. I know at least one dear soul. I keep meaning to ask permission to name some of my friends in these videos. And I promise to only use first names, so most of you out there don't necessarily know, aren't in my day-to-day life or would know who I'm talking about or not. But anyway, I'm going to let you decide that you know who you are, that you would absolutely argue with that. Most people don't really want to be happy, and you'd say you want that more than anything. I think you might not use the word strive every day to use your humor to cheer others up, and want more than anything to be happy and want the people around you to be happy. As someone so wisely said to me, so actually I'm going to pause there. I don't want to rush past that. So if you're hearing this and you hear that people don't really want to be happy, and just pause again and drop inside and see if you're resisting that, see if it feels true or not for you. See if there's something there to look at, learn from, wake up to. If you truly want to wake up, it's uncomfortable. I think you do. So as someone so wisely said to me, don't try to make them happy. You'll only get in trouble. Most people don't want to be happy, so don't try to make them happy. You'll only get in trouble. You could take out the part of, because I think most people would argue they do want to be happy, so why aren't you making them happy? But what resonates really rings true with me from personal experiences, don't try to make other people happy. Because your attempts to try to make them happy, number one, rather than joining them where they are, which is what really I think most people want, is validation. They don't want to sit alone in their pain. They want some companionship where they are. They want someone to hear their pain and join them, meet them where they are. Trying to make them happy only gets us in trouble. Don't try to teach a pig to sing. It wastes your time and it irritates the pig. I think there's a song just in that. Dana Reeves, calling Dana Reeves. Oh, Sonia Hartle, you've moved to the area. Let's write a song about don't try to teach a pig to sing. Oh my God, I'm gonna put a earmark up. A bookmark in this. And Sonia, I don't know if you follow my YouTube channel yet, but I'm sending you this video. We need to write that song. You invited me to write together recently. I bet Dana would love to join us. Like the businessman who goes into a bar, sits down and sees this fellow with a banana in his ear. Can you picture it? A banana in his ear. And he thinks, I wonder if I should tell him. I wonder if I should mention that to him. Nah, it's none of my business. But the thought nags at him, so after having a drink or two, he says, excuse me, you've got a banana in your ear. The fellow says, what? This isn't repeats, you've got a banana in your ear. And again, the fellow says, what was that? You've got a banana in your ear, the businessman shouts. Talk louder, the fellow says. I've got a banana in my ear. So it's useless. Give up, give up, give up, says Look. How many times have you ever heard me personally say to anybody, give up? Give up, give up, give up. I say to myself, say your thing and get out of here. Say your thing and get out of here. And if they profit, that's fine. And if they don't, I would say that's fine. He says, too bad. Oh my gosh. We could stop right there. 24 minutes is probably long enough to read together, but I tell you, hang in there with me because I feel like reading more and I wanted to read this together. I want to discover it in the moment with you. And I don't want to leave it at, give up, give up, give up. And the next part is intriguing. And the proper kind of selfishness. Again, plus this is the last night we'll have the Christmas tree up, so what a pretty backdrop. You can see the lights of my hometown behind me. I live up in the trees. It's such a beautiful place, and I'm so grateful. Happy 2026, if I haven't already said that to you. Go back and watch my first few videos, and the New Year's Eve was talking about finding your word for the year. Mine is being. If you haven't already, take some time to meditate on it. We create with our word. Another lesson I've learned from my teacher Miguel that I share his teachings, and the Bible would agree. The word became flesh and dwelt among us. And so if we create with our word, what do you want to create in 2026? One of my followers, sister priestesses, shared with me, as I've invited you, please share your word with me so I can know what that is, support you in any way possible. Apparently not help you. Well, it says nobody supports you either, so I don't know. Light. Light was her word. Like it. So we got light for the 2020, a word for 2026, and beingness. All right. Should have brought some water in here. Excuse me a minute. Not the proper kind of selfishness. Did you know there was a proper kind? I actually want you to know that. I've probably talked about it a little bit in a previous video, no doubt. The first thing I want you to understand, if you really want to wake up, is that you don't want to wake up. So he tells us again. The first step to waking up is to be honest enough to admit to yourself that you don't like it. Oh, God, I sure liked myself for a lot of years then in this waking up process. And I would say it was a lie because I was fighting myself. I don't know when that changed, when I decide I want to wake up. When did I start waking up? When did I become able to tolerate the pain, the discomfort of waking up? Relax. Relax into being. The first step to waking up is to be honest enough to admit to yourself that you don't like it. You don't want to be happy. Want a little test? Let's try it. It will take you exactly 1 minute. Boy, this almost makes me want to pause and do this in a whole separate video. And I'm going to go ahead and read because I feel like it. And like I said, I want to discover it together in the moment. So I may read this section again in a whole separate video. Just separate them out in case you want to do the test more than once. It'll take us 1 minute. Set your timer. Not really. So you could close your eyes while you're doing it, or you can keep them open. It doesn't really matter. Think of someone you love very much, someone you're close to, someone who is precious to you, and say to that person in your mind, I'd rather have happiness than have you. See what happens? I'd rather be happy than have you. If I had a choice, no question about it, I'd choose happiness. How many of you felt selfish when you said this? In your mind, this imaginary conversation. Many, it seems. See how we've been brainwashed? See how we've been brainwashed into thinking, how could I be so selfish? But look at who's being selfish. Imagine somebody saying to you, how could you be so selfish that you'd choose happiness over me? Some of us don't have to imagine it. Fortunately, I don't think anyone's ever actually said that to me, but I have clients that, you know who you are? Ouch. Can you imagine if it's never been said to you? How could you be so selfish that you choose happiness over me? And I think even if it's not said to us, it's an unspoken agreement in a lot of relationships. I can't be happier than. I had to do that work with my therapist. My mom has dealt with a very severe illness her entire life. And I didn't think it was okay to be happier than her. I didn't think it was okay to be more successful than my family. Continue the list. Create your own. Would you not feel like responding, "Pardon me? But how could you be so selfish that you would demand I choose you above my own happiness?" A woman once told me that when she was a child, her Jesuit cousin gave a retreat in the Jesuit church in Milwaukee. He opened each conference with the words, "The test of love is sacrifice, and the gauge of love is unselfishness." That's marvelous. I asked her, "Would you want me to love you at the cost of my happiness?" "Yes," she answered. "Isn't that delightful? Wouldn't that be wonderful? She would love me at the cost of her happiness, and I would love her at the cost of my happiness. And so you've got two unhappy people, but long live love." There's one more little section in here before the end of this whole bit. Bottom of page 10 and 11. On wanting happiness. I was saying that we don't want to be happy. We want other things. Or let's put it more accurately. We don't want to be unconditionally happy. I'm ready to be happy provided I have this and that and the other thing. But this is really to say to our friend or to our God or to anyone, "You are my happiness. If I don't get you, I refuse to be happy." It's so important to understand that. We cannot imagine being happy without those conditions. That's pretty accurate. We cannot conceive of being happy without them. We've been taught to place our happiness in them. So that's the first thing we need to do if we want to come awake. Which is the same thing as saying, if we want to love, if we want freedom, if we want joy and peace and spirituality, I'm going to add serenity, maybe another word for peace, but in that sense, spirituality is the most practical thing in the whole wide world. I challenge anyone to think of anything more practical than spirituality. As I have defined it, not piety, not devotion, not religion, not worship, but spirituality, waking up. Waking up. I think that was the first line we read, where he said, spirituality means waking up. Brings us back around to that. Look at the heartache everywhere. Look at the loneliness. Look at the fear, the confusion, the conflict in the hearts of people, inner conflict, outer conflict. Suppose somebody gave you a way of getting rid of all of that. Suppose somebody gave you a way to stop that tremendous drainage of energy, of health, of emotion that comes from these conflicts and confusion. Would you want that? Might be an easy yes, but would you really? If it was painful, if it was uncomfortable? Suppose somebody showed us a way whereby we would truly love one another and be at peace, be at love. Can you think of anything more practical than that? But instead, you have people thinking that big business is more practical, that politics is more practical, that science is more practical. What's the earthly use of putting a man on the moon when we cannot live on the earth? That's all the reading for today, and that was actually quite a bit, so I don't think I'm going to go back and read it again and break it down, but just pay attention to the videos and you'll see. I usually put in the description what's in each video. I think I do. I share so much with you personally. I mean, this channel is an outpouring. And I think I've been saying a lot lately. Maybe it's for nothing other than my own archives, like my own video journal. And it does benefit me to go back and listen to my own wisdom. Sometimes I don't remember it. I don't even remember I had it in a moment. And as my therapist said, it's pretty natural to kind of have the aha and then lose it. And then have the aha again. I've read to you some from Oneness. Let's do some of that again this year. And it talks about, that's the way we designed, believe it or not. We designed this human experience. Our soul knows. Most of us agreed to be asleep when we got here and to wake up at a kind of predetermined time. And fortunately, the soul's arriving now. They're awake. They're going to stay awake. But it's okay that our design has been up until now to just wake up and then kind of go back to sleep and then have an aha and then forget about it. And aha again. We'll see how long this internal shift feels sustainable to me, but I'm going to be transparent. Something else I feel like I need to, whenever it involves somebody else, I always feel like I need to ask permission. So I was in a love relationship for 15 years and never doubted. I don't think we ever doubted the love we had for each other, the respect, the kindness, the regard. To the outside world, it probably would look like, why would you ever uncouple? And I was still unhappy. I think we'd agree on that. I was angry a lot before I chose to uncouple a few years back. Let's say that life to that point had not taught me the tools I needed to take responsibility for my own happiness. And I'd been working hard in therapy, don't get me wrong. Oh my God, it felt like I'd been healing and growing for years and years and years and forgiving my parents and not holding them responsible, and all that's still true. But I wanted my partner to complete me. I didn't want to be left alone on even my mountaintop experiences anymore, and his is a different path. He's not with me when I go on my journeys. He's not called to the Mayan way of life, to study the culture, to learn the mantras, to teach the mantras. He's not a Mayan priestess who agreed to come back to humanity right now and bring back this particular wisdom to help us at this particular time in human history, to change things, to bring us back to a whole different way of being. So I felt alone and resentful and probably felt rejected. Why wasn't that important to him? Why weren't we going to do it together? If you know anything about me, I want somebody along for everything, the good times and the bad times, which aren't that much fun either. He stuck with me through all that. I still didn't always see it. felt like he abandoned me in my bad times too. I mean, who wants to be around when you're depressed? And I was depressed a lot. But I knew something was missing, and I was making us both miserable because, like I said, I was angry all the time that he wasn't making me happy. It was not for want of trying. Thank you very much if you ever watch this. And the most unexpected, delightful thing, I haven't even confessed this to him yet. I am falling in love in a way my heart has never been prepared to love. And I'd say, first of all, it's because I love myself now in a way I just couldn't before. Wasn't ready, didn't have the tools, didn't have the understanding, the awareness. This book isn't calling awakening, it's called awareness. Did not have the awareness. It couldn't be any different until this moment. I love myself, I embrace myself, all my shapes and sizes. When I'm sad, I take care of that. If I'm in need, if my inner family, my language, I get excited, and even that causes it. The inner child, the inner adolescent, if they're stirred up, if they're angry, upset, fearful, in need of any sort, they now know to come to me. I'm mama, I'm papa. Not my mother, I call her grandmother to them now. Bless her soul. I'm sure she did her absolute best, and of course she would say she loves me with every bit of her. And her illness sure made it hard to demonstrate that. And even now, I mean, I called her selfish this week for not telling me she was sick. And then calling me every day and blowing up my phone and accusing me of playing charades and ignoring her calls. All while I was like asleep for 5 days with pneumonia. If you know her, you know she'd give just about anybody the shirt off her back. So even she was surprised that I called her selfish. But she was putting herself ahead of me and my needs. Because her need was great. Her need always seems greater than mine and screams louder than mine. So I've taught my inner family to even recognize when my inner critical parent versus my inner loving parent is in the driver's seat, and to ask the inner critical parent to stop its harsh inner dialogue. Stop judging me, stop criticizing me, stop even worrying about me, stop even being concerned about me, which doesn't actually feel like genuine love. Concern that's just something different. I do my best to silence that voice and bring in that unconditionally loving presence. And I love myself in a brand new way. And that is one love affair that's new for me. I wouldn't say I just learned this year how to love myself, but it feels like it. I think I've been growing in love for years. And unexpected, when we uncoupled, I thought that was it, because as much as we loved each other, it didn't seem like that was enough all those years. And I was still unhappy. I still felt like I was holding back and not fully on my spiritual path, waiting for him to join me on it, and resentful, like I've been saying. And since I've fallen in love with myself, now I would say we reconnected. We're connecting a new way, because we never lost contact. We've made beautiful music together for years, so we've continued. That was important to us. So even though we never got married, even though we weren't romantically coupled, the world didn't really know that. We never moved on, either of us. We admitted this past year that we still were in love with each other. We loved each other. We got to spend our first Christmas morning together last weekend, before I got sick. And I feel a growing love. I feel like I'm falling in love in a way I never have been before. Because I'm present to me. I show up to the best of my ability with my own needs met, whole, integrated, complete, and ready to be present to who he actually is and what his purpose on the planet is. I've always known his purpose is music, and I'm no longer in competition with that. I couldn't possibly be. That's how he shines. I'm getting to share it with him in a new way. I'm excited to see what continues to unfold and how it might influence our music moving forward. I didn't mean that to necessarily be a long story. I don't even know what you take from it. Don't know if that was too personal, and I need to apologize for sharing someone else's half of the story. But you've been around long enough to know that's what I do. And you've chosen to stick around and jump back in there with me. So that might sound like a contradiction. I'm okay with contradicting myself, and I'll probably continue to do that throughout videos. Did he say, as we read, we never really love anybody else? Sit with what he meant by that. Sit with what I'm sharing, and why is now any different than the last 15 years? I know why it's different. I know why it feels different. I have tools I didn't have before. I love you. I love you. I love you. You've always been easy to love. I mean, my goodness. You're such a good listener. Oh, I think I better call it a night and give this body some rest until we meet again. Ciao for now. I love you. I love you. I love you.